This journey of making many to learn about money as a tool, it's because she realized for sure a lot of people are being hurt by this tool instead of making use of the tool and making sure that this tool is working for them and not against them. So Sheila, maybe someone is there and wondering, what is this financial wellness we are talking about? Maybe you can define for someone who is there and not understanding what is this financial wellness first of all.
Yeah, financial wellness is generally the overall well-being of your relationship with money. Financial wellness is not just about money, it's about, are you able to relate with money in the right way? Are you able to achieve your goals without having to kill yourself or sacrifice too much? Are you able to utilize money so that you can be able to do the things that you enjoy and have the freedom of doing the things or having the things that you ever wanted? That is all about financial wellness. It's not just about the money itself. It's also about how is your relationship with money, because your relationship with money truly will dictate other areas of your life. It will dictate how you relate with other people. It will dictate how, the kind of life you're going to live. It will dictate how you are going to even achieve your goals in the future. For example, if someone doesn't, let's say for example, someone is going through a hard economic time and they are broke, trust me, their relationship with people is also at a very dangerous point, because this person will always be feeling like, okay, I'm broke, even if I want to help someone, I cannot do it. And the other person may not understand that. So you find, if you do not have financial wellness, if you are not financially healthy, then most areas of your life, if not all, will kind of be affected in one way or another. So generally, financial wellness is your all-round well-being with finances as well as your relationship with money.
So in simple terms, how do I assess my own financial wellness? How can I say that because I do 1, 2, 3, maybe I can say I'm financially healthy? Or how can someone assess, now layman, how can someone assess their financial wellness and say that for sure my finances, my financial life is healthy?
Thank you, and thank you so much for bringing that up, because when people hear when people hear that being financially healthy, they think it's being rich or having lots of money, but it's not. Being financially healthy, or how to assess your financial wellness, is when you are at a point whereby you are able to live within your means, you are able to achieve your goals in a very comfortable way without having to strain too much, and at the same time your relationship with money is working. It's not complicated, or it's not, it's not a relationship that you can't even explain. So financial wellness is more of, am I able to live within my means? Am I able to achieve my goals comfortably? For someone, living within their means is just having a simple life. It's not even having millions. For another person, living within their means is having millions. Those two people, they are living financially healthy. So long as they are within their means, they are not going overboard, they are not struggling too much, and they are able to achieve their financial goals. Remember, my goal might be different from another person's goal. There's one person whose goal is maybe to have 1 million by end of the month. Another one is only to have 1,000 Kenyan shilling by end of the month. If both of them are able to achieve that comfortably, then we can say they are living financially healthy.
Wow, I love that. This is broad according to different people and according to different people's perceptions. That if I'm able to live my life according to my own means and achieve the goals that I have, me as a person, you as a person, then we can say that someone is able to live a financially well, or healthy life, yeah?
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yes, you did get it right.
Now, there is someone who's already sending us a question. I think this one was really good at this time. Someone is asking, okay, hello Sheila, my husband and I are overwhelmed in debt from mobile app loans to bank loans to circle loans to friends loans. Okay, from this question, Sheila, here someone is very financially sick, I think.
Yeah, I would say they are, I would want to know what kind of debt are they in, because we have a good debt and a bad debt. So a good debt is a debt that you're taking to do something that is going to earn you income and be able to repay the debt.
Okay.
Now, a bad debt is whereby you've taken a debt, but you don't have a source of income, or you're not putting it into something that can be able to bring in money to repay the debt. Now, the person who just sent in the question mentioned they are overwhelmed, meaning this could be a bad debt. Now, in such an instance, I would say it's about time for them to sit down, take a stock of the debt they owe, and then after they've known how much we owe to this, how much we owe to this, they also need to know how much is the interest for SACCO, bank, mobile app, and then they also need to know what is the deadline that we need to repay this, that is taking stock of the debt they owe. Then after that, we have two methods in which they can use to repay that debt. But the first thing they will need to do is, I assume, they are having an income source. So they have to come up with a budget that factors in the debt that they have and the amount they need to pay monthly.
Okay.
And then from there they can now see, they can choose whether to pay from the one with the highest balance or the one with the highest interest.
Okay.
So they will list their debts down. For example, if the SACCO debt is the one with the highest balance, they can say, okay, we are going to start to repay this debt from the one with the highest balance going downward. Or they can choose to say, okay, we are going to repay this debt from the one with the highest interest. So you might find a small debt like a mobile loan has a very high interest compared to a SACCO loan. So they can say, let's clear the mobile debt first, then you can go to the SACCO loan. But the foundation of all this is that they will need to first of all find ways to increase their income, because if you don't have the income, how will you be able to repay the debt? And then after that, they need to have a budget, and this is the time I would say they have to really tighten their belts and try their best to decrease their expenses so that they can be able to start their journey to debt freedom.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Sheila, because I think a lot of people, when they are in debt, they never take their debt stock, and they just get to be, lagged and tagged along, and it becomes a very vicious cycle for a lot of people. But thank you that you've told us we need to take the debt stock. We kusanya, let me use that word, putting together all the debts that someone has, right? And then know the interest rates, or rather the interest that these debts have accrued. And then we budget and factor in this debt, and then from there one can decide to pay from the smallest or the largest. Yeah, I'm trying to break this one down for our viewer. So, am I right? Did I capture that right?
Right.
Yes.
You are very right, and you mentioned something, people end up being in a vicious cycle. The reason is, you find someone, they do not take the stock of their debt.
Sure.
So they start, for example, they start paying a debt that they think, okay, the amount of this debt, the balance is too huge, let me start paying it up. But they are forgetting, maybe that interest is very high for the smaller debt they have. So you find they are trying to clear the one with a large balance, but they didn't notice the one with the high interest is also accumulating.
Sure.
So they find like, I'm trying to pay this debt, but it's like it's increasing because you did not take stock and analyze which debt is it viable for me to start servicing at the moment.
Okay. And you also said that while at it one needs to increase their income so that it can be able to service the debts. So,
yes.
Okay. I've found a quote while looking through your social media, which is very, very pleasant to look at and very, very educative. So someone failing to take interest in their overall financial wellness is setting themselves up for failure. And I'm thinking, for sure, a lot of us Kenyans and a lot of other people outside there, people don't really take keynote, or rather take keen interest in their budgeting, their planning, their savings and everything. And this way we find people get to spiral down into, even though someone is not in maybe much debt, but they don't get to progress financially. Yes. And you find that someone is just living from hand to mouth each and every day, and when maybe they are met by an unforeseen circumstance, they cannot handle that. It breaks them.
Absolutely, you're very right. If we do not take our financial well-being into consideration, money is very emotional. Right now, if I give you 1,000 bob, you'll find that you have expenses that need more of that. But if you are able to take into consideration some money principles, you will know, if I get this 1,000, this one is going to this one is going to this one is going to this. So you will not have the emotional aspect coming to you and starting to feel like this is the time I need an extra pair of something that you already have. So having acquired financial principles, especially budgeting, saving, investing, and having a plan, you are able to take control of money instead of the money controlling you. And you also mentioned being found or getting into an unforeseen circumstance. And I would say, this COVID taught us something, that in just a few minutes or few days, life can totally change. And that brings in the aspect of, we need to have an emergency fund. We need to, and this falls in the category of you having known some financial principles, because when you get to encounter unforeseen circumstances or emergency situations, if you have an emergency fund, it will be able to cushion you, even if not 100%, but it will be able to cushion you to some percentage. So financial wellness of someone, or your financial well-being, is very, very important. We all need to know about these aspects, know these principles, not just because we want to be millionaires or billionaires, but because we want to live a very financial, healthy life that can allow you to be able to, get to enjoy things, and as well as avoid having financial stress.
Sure. One thing that you've mentioned, that money is very emotional. I've never had that. But as you explain it, it's so real. For sure, when I get 1,000 bob, I didn't even plan for it. Now, a lot of, wants that I wanted to satisfy that maybe were not in my face, they all come. Wow, that is huge. That is very huge. That money is actually very emotional. Now, my dear viewer, I hope you're capturing all these things, and especially on the bit of coming out of debt, and the fact that we all need to be financially literate, and that's why Sheila is here with us, so that she can, train us and allow us and give us, share her knowledge on finances and how we can live a financial, or rather healthy life. We have learned a little bit on how we can get out of debt. Number one is taking your debt stock, looking through the interest, and then you can also start paying the debt from the highest to the smallest, or from the smallest debt to the highest. You also have to increase your income as you pay this debt. Now, my dear viewer, I wish we could take a short break so that Sheila and I here can take a sip of this water that we do have. And then when we come back, we are going to learn on these principles of money, because we want to learn. For sure, Sheila, we want to learn about these principles of money, so that people don't live a life of straining each and every time. Even though they don't get to be billionaires and millionaires, but live a comfortable life. So take a short break, we'll be right back.
To be entertained and educated at the same time? Well, say no. My name is Zelfina and I will be your host for the Youth Hub, the show that gets you grown on.
And I'm Rachel Gambo, the boss.
Here at Youth Hub, we bring you fun guests, interesting topics, and play interesting games. As you fit in, you're like, you belong here.
Tunaishi pamoja, sasa inaweza kutrust, sasa wendi nje.
Multiple, eh?
Oh my God, that one moment I was in love.
Kuna mali mzazi yenyewe anakujua in this way and you also know yourself in the other way.
Oh! Sikadumbi.
So we keep saying man up and
I'm over cash price, have all the clout, money get lost.
Wanna play again? Are you ready? Oh, yeah. Never have I ever.
Mambo vipi man, it's your boy Ben C and you can call me the True Ninja. I'd like to invite you on an amazing show that will be happening each and every Saturday from 8 p.m. to 8:30 and the repeat on Sunday, each and every Sunday from 1 p.m. So make sure you join us for the GBS Art Club for an amazing show. Because
GBS.
Welcome back, my dear viewer. We continue with this conversation on financial wellness. For sure, we want to be financially healthy. Nobody wants to be used as a tool by money, but we want to use money as a tool for our own advantage, for our own happiness, and for our own gain. So, my dear viewer, you are most welcome to join in the conversation on our SMS line 21144 and in all our social media handles at GBS TV Africa. Make sure your comment is down there or whatever you know. Today we are educating each other and we are also being educated by, a certified financial educator. So, Sheila, before we went on this break, you mentioned about principles of money. And I think if we get to learn about these principles of money, then we can be financially literate and financially healthy humans once we put into practice whatever you're going to tell us. So we want to understand and know these money principles.
Thank you very much, Kate. Financial principles are very simple, but the problem is most of us don't get to do them. But when you have them, when you know them, it becomes a matter of you being more disciplined to do them so that you can be able to start experiencing living financially healthy. So the first principle definitely is having a budget.
Okay.
A budget is a roadmap to your financial journey.
Yes.
If you do not have a budget, or if you do not have a mechanism of budgeting, it means you are just going nowhere with your finances. So having a budget allows you to know where your money is coming from and where it's going to. And this helps to answer the question that most people say, you know, I don't know where my money is going to. If you have a budget, you'll be able to know, I spent this money on this item or on this thing, and this is the I earned this money from this place. So having a budget is the core foundation of financial principles that we all need to embrace. Now, once you've had a budget, at least now you have a direction for your money, you know where it's going, you know where it's coming from. The next thing you need to have is having a saving plan. Now, before you can get to having a saving plan, this is where we factor in having a goal. Remember, you've already given your money direction. You know where it's coming from and where it's going. Now you need to have a goal. This budget I'm having, after how long should I see ABCD happening? And this is where you set a goal and say, maybe after 1 year, I need to have been able to cleared up my debts. I need to have been able to save that amount ABCD. Then once you've identified why or a goal for your finances, then you now create a saving plan. Now, why am I insisting us to have a goal first? If you're going to just have a saving plan without a goal, you'll find that the money you're trying to save at the end of that time period, you'll take all that money and go do a party or go eat it and then come back again trying to save. So you find that you're rotating on the same, you're having a vicious cycle where you're saving but you're not doing anything with that money. But when you have a goal, you'll be able to know, I'm saving for 6 months to do this, I'm saving for 3 months to do this. After that, I go to the next goal. Now, after you've had a saving plan, the next thing is yes, please.
No, there's a story I had, a very real story on that note of having a saving plan, and then first of all having a goal and then having a saving plan tied to that goal. Now, there are these two ladies, the house helps. You know, these are part of the people in our society who gets very little pays. So there are these two that were being paid 10,000 shillings. One was saving up, and at the end of the year bought a motorcycle, and with time continued to add more and more, and eventually had a fleet of them, and eventually even got matatus, and she changed her life and her family. Now another one in the same household was also getting the 10,000, and they were saving. During Christmas, the one who did not have a goal, the money she could go and blow it on Christmas Day with her parents and her children and her relatives, you know. At the end of 5 years, these two people were on different worlds. So,
absolutely.
So I really see what you're saying about having a saving plan that is tied to a goal, because you can see this too.
Yeah, and actually, especially in Africa, you know, you have to pay the black tax, whereby you have to help, I don't know, a certain number of people in the family.
Yes.
So you find people fall in the trap of, I'm saving for up to December. Then in December or Christmas, they decide to overpay the black tax. I am not saying we shouldn't help our family and friends, but you need to have a plan for that. Don't just save all your money for 12 or 11 months, then in December you're blowing it up because you want to, you want to make them happy. Yet again, you did not have a goal. Now, if you do not have a saving goal, or if you do not have a goal tied to your saving plan, chances are high you're going to end up overpaying the black tax. Now, back to our principles. You had a goal tied to a saving plan. The thing is, you need to, if you have a debt, because trust me, debt can be good, it can take you forward, but at the same time, it can take you backwards. It's a double-edged sword. Now, you need to have a plan of repaying that debt.
Okay.
And as I mentioned earlier, there are two methods you can use to repay a debt. The first one is after you've taken stock. The first method is paying the debt from the one that has a large balance to the one that has a least balance.
Okay.
Another way is paying the one that has the highest interest to the one that has the lowest interest. So you need to come up with a strategy of repaying debt. Whether it's a good debt or a bad debt, come up with a strategy of repaying debt. Because, you know, debt is not your money. It's money that you've borrowed.
Sure.
And someone is in business and they need to make profit. And that happens to be you who is the borrower. So you need to come up with a strategy of repaying debt. Then after you've done that, the next principle is now an investment plan. Remember we said tie your saving plan to a goal. Now, you've saved some money, now you need to invest it so that it can multiply. You do not just save and then let it be there. You need to make it grow. You need to multiply it, and that is simply done through investing. And I really love the times that we are in because there are so many ways, so many investment tools that you can take advantage of regardless of your income. I remember years back, people used to think investment is for people who have a lot of money, who have, you know, thousands and whatever. But now, even with as little as 1,000 Kenya shilling, you can start investing in money market funds and start getting interest, earning interest, and start multiplying your money. So there is no, we don't have an excuse of not investing. And then the other thing is we are having mobile applications that help you do that. So you won't say, okay, I don't have time to go to those companies that offer that because of my schedule. We have mobile apps that you can use to do the same procedure and invest your money. Now, after you've had an investment plan, now you're multiplying your money. The next thing is you need to, actually I should have started with having financial education as the first principle, so that you can go to budgeting, having a goal, saving plan, debt management, investing. After you've invested your money, you're seeing it's growing. Now this is the time you need to now focus on building a legacy. This can be in form of a business, it can be in form of, you know, anything that you know is going to be long term, that can be there even after you are long gone. And then finally, it's very important that we also put in the aspect of enjoying life, or paying yourself, or not really paying yourself, but YOLO. You know, you've done all this. You've acquired financial education. You have budgeted. You have created a saving financial goal. You've come up with a saving plan. You have you're in the process of doing debt repayment, or you have a debt management strategy. Then you are coming up with an investment plan. You are investing. Set aside some money to have fun. It's highly recommended. Do not just do all these activities, then you are not doing something for yourself. It's healthy and it's highly recommended. Now, after you've done all that, it's also good to, you know, appreciate yourself. It's good to, you know, most of us, we've grown up in environments where we don't take the time to really acknowledge ourselves. We don't take the time to say, okay, last year I didn't have a budget, but this year at least I've managed to stay on budget. Last year, I didn't know how to create a goal. At least this year, I've done that. Now, that is something we need to incorporate, and as well as have, you know, a heart of gratitude. Learn to be grateful. It's part of the principle. The more grateful you have for what you have, the more things will come to you, including money.
It's true. Now, when you talk of gratitude and living the yellow bit of life, I remember when I was growing up, there was this, let me call him a tycoon. He was very wealthy, but he used to move on a bicycle, yet he owned very many plots where I came from, and he used to own several manufacturing small industries where I came from, and used to have a shirt that was torn. You know, I couldn't understand, but we understand now that we are living in very nice times. Like, you're in Dubai, and as much as you're working, you also get to play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to live a little, because at the end of the day, why, look for the financial wellness yet you don't get to live?
Exactly, and just to add on, Kate, people really mistake between being frugal and stingy.
Yeah.
So you find, like the story you've just given us, I would say the person was stingy even to himself.
That's sad.
Because what is the use of you working hard and not getting to live a comfortable life, a worthy life, not having the opportunity to look good? Why would you work so hard only for you to die, and then people start fighting for all the hard work you put in? So it's very important for us to learn to be frugal, not stingy to ourselves. And being frugal means I can't have YOLO, but this is the limit I can go. But being stingy is I am scared if I start spending on myself, everything will finish. I'm scared I cannot, support people because I will become broke. That is being stingy. You are scared. You have the fear that money you will run out of money. Yeah. But when you're frugal, you have limits. I can go for that vacation, but this is the maximum I can spend. I can help these people, this is the maximum I can spend. I can dress nicely, but this is the maximum I can do. Sure. That is what we need to embrace. We need to start learning being frugal, so that the hard work we are putting in, we can also get to enjoy the fruits while we are still alive here on earth.
Sure. I love the fact that when you started, before you even told us about these principles of money, you said that we have to put them into practice. In fact, I'm sure a lot of people have heard this over and over again, but they never put into practice, and that's why a lot of people are suffering financially. And I would want to capture this one again for my viewer, because this one is for you, my viewer. Now, number one principle of money principle. She said that you need to be financially educated. She's going to tell us where we can get this financial education from. Number two was having a budget. You budget everything about your money so that you can know where it's coming from and where it's headed. Number three was having a saving plan that is tied to a goal, so that you're not just saving and then at the end of the day you blow the money. It is you save the money with a goal to invest. So the next, the other one was having a repayment plan for your debts. And she said you have to have a debt stock, bringing all your debts together and coming up with a strategy of repaying these debts. The other one was having an investment plan, and we have so many investment opportunities around, and especially at this day and era of the internet. And we have also been given money, or rather mobile applications, where you can save as little as 1,000 bob. There are so many things, the money market funds. There are also these other government bonds that are floated over several times in a year. So we also have, after you invest, I think this is little money that you have invested from your saving plan, and then now you are investing this little money. After you have accumulated all this, you said you can build a legacy for your children and for the generations that will come after you. The other one was you live life. After doing all this work, live a little. You don't have to die with your money in the bank. Make sure you enjoy a little, my dear viewer. So that is as far as the principles of money are concerned. And I think going forward, she mentioned something about creating an emergency fund. That was new. Sheila, that was very new. Very new. A lot of people don't even know what that is. Yes, every word is speaking for itself, but we never even came across that in our books. So before we come back to that, Sheila, I wish they digest all this that we've talked about, and then when we come back from this short break that you're going to have, then you can talk to us about building this emergency fund.
Wait! Stop right there. It's the kids' mind. Kids' mind. Kids' mind. Kids' mind. And I ask this part It's a Chungu shake. Song, dances, push and so funky. Pow, pow, pow. Vitamins blasting off. Amazing tomato. And Bible stories. We at the Kids Night, we desire to serve you with these exciting activities. Join us every Monday to Friday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Wow!
God is so good. And because human being is opposite of God, the greatest thing that can ever happen is fellowship. Our justification is based on Jesus. The book of Leviticus is telling us how sin has to be forgiven.
We are talking about the chief baker and the chief butler.
Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, my dear viewer. We continue this conversation on financial wellness. Now, myself, I'm taking notes here, and I hope you are too, because we are setting up ourselves for financial wellness, for financial excellence and prosperity. That's why we are here today. Now, we've learned so much today so far, and as we come back, Sheila, please tell us about this emergency fund. And how can we build one?
Thank you very much, Kate. I would start with a short, let's say an analogy. I don't know if it has ever happened to you. One day you wake up, when you go to your shower, you're planning to go to work, to come to work or something, and then you go and you try to turn it on and it's not working. Or you just wake up, go to your kitchen, you're trying to make breakfast, you turn on your tap to get water to make tea, and you find out that maybe the sink has a problem. Now, that is an emergency. You didn't expect that. Or you're just walking outside and for some reason, your phone falls down and cracks and crashes. That's an emergency. You didn't plan to buy a phone. Now, from the word emergency fund, this is a pool of money that you set aside for occurrences that you did not plan for. Now with this COVID, we've seen so many people getting sick and some others even dying. We did not plan for that. So that is an emergency. Now, if you are going to have funds set aside for such occurrences, chances are very high you will not experience the pressure that comes with emergency situations. Yes, there will be the situation, there will be the reaction and all that, but if I put you and someone who didn't have an emergency fund under that same situation, you'll find that for you it will be very easy to navigate through that situation as compared to someone who didn't have anything. Now, an emergency fund, as I mentioned, is you putting aside, it can be on a monthly basis, weekly basis, whichever way, you put aside a certain amount of money that can be able to cater for such situations.
Sure.
Now, in finance, we usually recommend have an emergency fund that is worth 3 to 6 months of your expenses, especially if it's in a household. For example, in your household, every month you find that you spend almost, let's say 5,000, or let's say 5,000, just on average. Now, you need to have an emergency fund that is worth 15,000 or more.
Okay.
Now, you could be asking me, Sheila, whatever I earn, I break it down and I have nothing left to build an emergency fund.
Yeah.
That is very right. It can happen. But in such an instance, that is where we say, you have to look in your house. You could be having something that you're not using.
Sure.
Why not declutter and sell? You have to look within you. We all have gifts. We are all talented in one way or another. Why don't you start monetizing on that gift with the goal of getting finances that can help into building an emergency fund?
Yeah.
We have some random businesses that come up due to seasons. For example, like right now, I would say it's maybe back to school. There are things you can start selling even as a middle man or woman and get money. You can be the bridge, you can break the bridge between the parents and the school by bringing in products that they need, fast moving products. So you have to find out ways that you can get money that can come into building your emergency fund.
Yeah.
Now, after you've done that, the next thing you need is where you keep the emergency fund. I have had clients who they've built the emergency fund, and when the emergency happens, they cannot access that money. Maybe they went and put it in a bank account, a saving bank account that only allows you to access the money after 3 years or after 6 months, and emergency has just happened. So you need to put it in a place where you can easily access it. And this is where we say, don't look at the interest the money can earn you, but look at how accessible can I have access to the money. So you need to put it in a place, even if it will earn you 2% interest, it's okay, but let it be somewhere that you can easily access. Imagine if your phone crashes now, you won't have to wait for 3 years for you to get the money to buy.
Yeah.
You will need to find a way to buy that phone as soon as possible. So an emergency fund needs to be put in a tool that you can easily access. Maximum should be 48 hours to 72 hours, so that you can be able to attend to that emergency. And finally, you don't need to pressure yourself. Not like you're waking up and you're like, okay, I need to have 15,000 tomorrow because that is the emergency fund that I need. If you are operating under, let's say, a tight budget or during these harsh economic times, we can say every month you're putting aside, even if it's 500 bob or 1,000 bob. Or whichever amount you're putting aside every month consistently, you will find that after some time, you'll be having an amount of money set aside to help you whenever an emergency comes. Remember, we don't plan for emergencies, but that does not mean they will not happen. They will happen in your lifetime. But the most important thing is have something that can caution you. Have some money set somewhere that can help you navigate through that season easily.
Wow, I love that, because for sure a lot of us didn't know that you need to have an emergency fund. It's something that has been unheard of, but today you know from Sheila that you need to have an emergency fund. That I love that you can create it from, having the talents that God has given unto us, because a lot of us God has put something in us. You speak very well, you play football, you sing, you can be an MC. Go and monetize that talent that God has given you. Declutter, sell that table that you are not using somewhere. I love that, because you can make money easily even from the things that we are holding, a lot of things that we are not even using. So, and you also given us another business opportunity. These seasonal times.
Yes.
When it's raining and in Tao, a lot of people are just running all over and there are no umbrellas. Time to get umbrellas and sell.
Let me just add on that. It reminds me, there's a time it rained, I was in a place and it rained. Now, the water was so much you couldn't cross on the other side. A certain guy just popped up and said, if you want to cross to the other side, I can carry you on my back and you pay me. And we had to do that, you see. So it's all about every season you are in, every season we are in. As a smart person, you need to look at what opportunity is there that I can tap into it. Because for sure, when the rain subsided and the place was dry, we didn't need that person to carry us. So it's all about learning to have an eye for opportunities. Somebody said opportunities are everywhere, but we just need that eye to see and tap into that.
Sure. Now, you also said somewhere that the very first opportunity, the very first principle of money is to seek financial education. Now, where do we get this financial education? Because even now, my viewers have seen you today. Where can they find you, or where else can they get this financial education?
So thank you for bringing that up, Kate. I would start by saying you can get financial education by visiting my Facebook page, that is Financial Wellness Center, and as well as I have done videos on YouTube a lot about finances, and that is the YouTube name is Financial Wellness with Sheila Mboga. Now, you can get this information from us or from online. Join Facebook groups, follow Facebook pages. That is where you can learn, and also get to read books. Somebody said if you want to hide something, hide it in books. And nowadays we even have e-books. You don't have to buy a hard copy. Get books that talk about finances. It won't hurt to save up for one book and read it, that will change your life for the rest of your life. So be a knowledge seeker. That is, if you're not someone who loves reading, follow social media pages, and I just mentioned our page and other many platforms that are available, as well as make YouTube your friend. There's so many videos I have personally done, and there are so many people that have done them. And you can also, if you need to have a personal consultancy, or you need someone to work with you, I can gladly do that. And if Kate allows me, we can share my email address.
Please do.
And then the most important thing, after you've acquired financial education, please try your best and do it. Like today you learned about budgeting, you learned about emergency fund, you learned about saving plan. Out of all the principles you've learned, make it your own goal that at least this month, let me practice one of these principles. Because you can acquire all this, we can tell you all this, but if you're not going to put it into action, then there will be no results at all. So I always recommend, once you've acquired the knowledge, let us work hard into doing it, because that is where the results are.
Wow, thank you very much, Sheila, because it's evident that we are not reinventing the wheel. It has been done, it's doable, you've done it, a lot of others are doing it. So let's seek this information. For sure there are so many books that I've seen online. Even books are as cheap as 500 bob here in town. Others are audio books that are on YouTube. And by the way, visit her page. It is full of wisdom, and the glory of money shall come back to us. So Sheila, time is running out, and I'm so sad about this, because I wanted to listen to you on and on and on, because there's so much. Myself, I've written my own notes. So please give us your parting shot, and I hope we'll do this again someday.
Thank you very much for having me. My parting shot would be, money is a tool that can help or hurt you. Just the same way we have a knife in the kitchen or fire in the kitchen, if this fire is used correctly, it can make a sumptuous meal. But if this fire is not used correctly, it can burn down a whole house. That is the same with money. Money can make your life better if you use it correctly. The same money, it can make your life miserable if you misuse it. So let us acquire and embrace learning about financial principles and putting them into action so that this money can help us more than hurting us. Again, thank you so much for having me, Kate, and the whole GBS TV team. I'm really honored and grateful for being here and sharing some nuggets with your audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sheila. It's been an honor. You know, the moment I saw your page on Facebook, I was so excited and I just had to share you because you are a blessing to a lot of people, and I see that you've helped a lot, thousands and thousands of people, and this knowledge today you've shared with us freely. Thank you very much for that. We are so blessed to have you. I'm sure if our viewers can put into practice all that you've told them, because these are things which have been done before and they'll continue being done, so if they can put an effort and do and take action, I'm sure we'll have so many people doing better for themselves and people not being depressed because of money, because for sure money is a tool, like you said. It is a tool that we are going to use from today henceforth. We are going to create those budgets. We are going to do saving plans that are tied to our goals. Remember, every one of us is very, very individual and personal, and we're all different, but we can live a better life than we have been doing, and this tool can work to our advantage. And I'm really happy to hear all this from you, Sheila, because you are affirming that we are not reinventing the wheel as it is, but we can do it also. And I hope our viewers, the next time we have this show with Sheila, you will be, saying, you will be giving us comments on how you have made progress for yourselves and for your families, and the milestones you'll have made. And I hope it's very soon. It's starting today, because this knowledge, man, if you go elsewhere, you'll be utalipishwa vizuri. But here Sheila has given us all this wisdom freely. So thank you very much, Sheila. Be blessed. And for our viewer, you have my notes. I hope you do have viewers. And I wish to leave you here on that note, knowing that you are going to put into practice all that we've learned today. We've learned so much. Budgeting, investing, saving, creating emergency funds, seeking all this knowledge. Don't just stay there. Look for the knowledge and change your life. Take charge. So I wish to leave you for now. And until next time, bye-bye.